Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a good day. It is March 29th, and today I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about this week's severe weather because we don't have as much severe weather as we did in the past couple weeks, but we are still going to be looking at that chance. And we're going to be talking about maybe a pretty large winter storm for areas of the Northeast. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the Day 2 convective outlook from the SPC. We do have a marginal risk that goes from northeastern Texas into areas of western Tennessee. This is tomorrow's outlook. We have no slight risk, just a marginal risk. We have 2% tornado risk in areas of northeastern Louisiana into western Tennessee. 5% wind and a 5% hail. And then also day 3, we have another marginal risk, and this one goes from the Gulf Coast all the way into Virginia. It's a pretty large marginal risk, so we're going to look at this real quick. So let's go out to Tuesday. We're going to start off by taking some soundings. So this is Tuesday at around 7 to 8 p.m. We have some storms in Mississippi. Let's take some soundings with those. This is not the main event, but those storms in Mississippi could pose a severe weather threat. This is actually not a bad sounding. We have decent shear. We have decent shear. And actually, we have a curved HONO, critical angle of 95, and nice instability. This would actually maybe some of those storms in Mississippi could have a tornado threat tomorrow afternoon, and then along the cold front we do have a little bit, maybe some more supercells, or not really supercells, but maybe some just cells, or maybe some kind of line forms in the northeast. We can see a lot of heavy rain and maybe even some supercells, especially in Mississippi, maybe Tennessee, Arkansas, and Louisiana. So let's take some soundings with these and. Northern Louisiana, it's just not a terrible sounding. We have decent instability, a little capped, not too much. We do have decent wind shear and curved HONO once again, so not a bad sounding. With these soundings again, I wouldn't be surprised if the SPC goes slight for tomorrow. This is another sounding. This is not as good. We do have a little bit less instability, but it's still there, and the HONO doesn't look terrible. It's not too enlarged or anything, but we do have a decent looking HONO. So I'd say we could get a slight risk. And if they do it, I'd say this area that has shifted further northeast from where I would have thought it would happen yesterday. I'm thinking this area. Maybe we even could. I think we could see. I think we could see a 5%. With these soundings, we have decent shear tomorrow, and we could maybe even have a few supercells. So. Tomorrow does look pretty interesting. Take some soundings even in northern Tennessee. And this is not terrible. This is not really impressive, though. We have not a lot of instability. And it is a little, not completely, but it is a little capped. And this sounding, this shear could support maybe some tornadoes, or maybe a tornado, but that overall is not terrible, or it's not that good of a sounding. But I'd say if the SPC goes slight, it's going to be for this area. That's where I'm thinking. And also, there's a pretty decent flood risk also, especially in Tennessee. We're going to have a lot of heavy rain once again. And then Wednesday, we have another marginal risk. We're going to switch to models for this one. So we're going to use the NAM3. It should go out just far enough. Yep, so we can see we have kind of a line of storms that tracks during the day, Wednesday, and kind of re-strengthens in the afternoon. Mainly with that, gusty winds, maybe an isolated tornado with this. And it looks like that severe potential will go up to maybe around this area also, all the way down to the Gulf Coast states. So, pretty large event Wednesday. Let's take some soundings. Let's go to earlier in the day and get a few. So this is Wednesday afternoon. Let's take a sounding in southwestern Alabama. This is kind of interesting. We have decent instability, and shear is there. We don't have a whole lot of speed shear though, but not a terrible sounding. This would support maybe a 2 or a 5%, 2% or a 5% from the SPC. So yeah, I'm thinking Wednesday. Wednesday looks decent. We're not going to go too in depth on Wednesday, though, in today's video. So there's just something I want to talk about this real quick. So we're gonna go back to last Wednesday's storm reports. So we're going to let me answer this real quick. Or last Thursday, I'm sorry. We can see we now have a lot more reports than we did before. We only had like 15. Now we have, this is what I said when it happened. We now have 42. 42 reports. With a lot of those being in Alabama, we have 4 states, or actually 6, or not 6 states, sorry, 5 states with tornado reports, and then we have Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee and Kentucky with tornado reports, and overall 172 total reports. So this tornado was in Bibb County, Alabama. We had 5 injuries to this one. This was I'm pretty sure this was the tornado that hit that large subdivision. And we go down. We had ones that the Greensboro one. I'm not sure where that one is. But the most we had these two, or this tornado right here. We had deaths. This was in Calhoun County, Alabama. 5 fatalities, which that's pretty significant number. As we go down the list, the last tornado of the day was in Coweta County, Georgia, and that was an EF4 that went through Newnan. So Thursday definitely did not bust. I think that high risk was definitely good. I don't know, maybe they could have, maybe the part in Mississippi didn't do too good, but I think the high risk was needed for this on last Thursday. So yeah, now let's go ahead and switch topics. Let's go ahead and talk about winter weather because we do have a potential winter storm. So this is Wednesday evening on the GFS. This has been uptrending a little bit since last night. So we go to Wednesday evening again. We have a little bit of snow starting to come in the areas of Ohio. Nothing significant in the maybe northwestern PA and western New York. Maybe even some heavy snow mixing in at times. And then as we go later into the night, and that low moves further to the northeast, we get a little more of that cold air. This is now getting into early Thursday morning. We have even some areas of heavy snow in areas in New York, down into even some light to moderate snow down into West Virginia, maybe even extreme eastern Tennessee and extreme western North Carolina, in the higher elevations. So pretty significant winter storm for the 1st of April, maybe. We go to even Thursday morning. We have our low right there. A little bit of cold air from this high, and that is bringing down, of course, cold air. And we have some snow even in the eastern PA, southeastern New York, eastern New York. And the threat of this has been uptrending a little bit because what we're going to see in a second is we have a second low form right here. That brings more moisture into the area and brings kind of a second round of snow there, maybe during the day on Thursday. So we can see that our first low moves to the northeast, and then we have our second one kind of right there. And that brings a little more snow to maybe areas of Vermont, New Hampshire, maybe eastern New York. So kind of a cool situation. Maybe even some ice in between in areas of northern and central Maine. So that's going to be a pretty significant winter storm potentially. Not extremely significant. If this was January, this wouldn't be a big deal. But considering we haven't had a big snowstorm for the Northeast in a while, it's been a couple weeks since we've had something like this in the Northeast. This could be a big deal. Let's take a look at the European. And European has kind of a similar story. We have some snow in eastern PA, which it didn't show last night, but the GFS did, so the GFS was right about that. And Thursday morning, we have moderate, maybe even some patches of heavy snow in PA, central New York, and then we have that low move further to the northeast during the day Thursday, bringing snow to areas of New York, Vermont. Now, I'd say the best chance of accumulating snow is likely going to be kind of in this general area right here. Maybe not that far southeast, but you get the idea. Maybe like western New York, northern New York, and maybe even areas of north central PA. So, pretty interesting little winter storm. Nothing too bad though. And then after that, what happens is kind of uncertain. But maybe another kind of storm system, maybe early next week. around the 6th or the 7th. We'll have to see about that, though. Doesn't look too significant in the European, but we go back to the GFS, and around the 6th and the 7th in the GFS, we do have another not really winter storm, but we do have another storm system. Maybe some severe weather with that. We're not going to look at that, though. That's still a week out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be back tomorrow.